All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Good morning. Welcome to the All Sports, All Plays in the morning. I am Ray Cruz. I am your host. Craig is on travel. He'll be back on Monday for the All Sports, All Plays in the morning. I will be joining him also next week. I will be a regular on the show here. We're going to come to you. We're going to go around here. This morning I had a little bit of problem getting up this morning. Take my kids to school. My kids were late going to school. I'm a bad parent. Now, I had some trouble sleeping the last two nights, and I kind of turned my alarm off when it went off at 7:40, and I kind of overslept. My wife got mad. She came all the way home from work to take the kids to school, and I got the ream. I'm in the doghouse right now, so that's what happened this morning for me and stuff like that. I just want to go ahead and welcome everybody here to the show. Welcome to the show. This is the ASAP in the morning. This is the morning program. We get everything started off. The Big 10 plus 4 group. Their show is still going on TV. We'll be joining the TV, Roku TV, a little bit later on. So they jump off. But we're getting the show started here on the All Sports, All Plays platforms. You can get us on Facebook. You can get us on Twitter. You can get us on Twitch. You can get us on. We're not on Instagram yet because the Instagram only does like an hour or so show. So we have to figure out that because sometimes the link that they have to get it onto Instagram doesn't work correctly. But we are on the All Sports All Plays Twitter. We are on the All Sports Plays YouTube. We're on the All Sports Plays Twitch. We're on the All Sports Plays Twitter, Facebook, you name it, we're on it. Roku TV. So we'll be joining the television. We'll be joining here momentarily here once we get everything situated here in the morning. So we will turn it over here. We'll get it all situated here on the show. Let me go ahead and add in the TV live here right quick. Let me go ahead and add it in here. Let me go ahead and save the changes so we can get the TV up there. We should be on the Roku TV here momentarily. I got it going live here right now, so hopefully it'll show up on the TV. So I clicked the link, but right now it's still got the Big 10 guys on there. So hopefully it'll kick over in a few minutes and we get everything situated on the television side of the show here. I don't know if it'll pick up or not, but let's see here. Let me go back out and go back into I got it on my TV here. Try to get everything situated here before that. So let's see here. Let's see if we pop up there because, yep, we're popped up now. We're on the Roku TV. You had to go back and refresh it. So we're all live on the Roku TV. You haven't missed anything if you're on the Roku TV. We're just kicking the show off. Just welcoming everybody here. What I said earlier was I'm in the doghouse with my wife. I kind of overslept. I turned my alarm off at 7:40. I thought I was going to get up at 7:50. But I didn't get up at 7:50. I went up and overslept about 8:37. My wife showed up from work to pick up my other kid to take him in school. So I'm sorry about all that. And then my friend, I forgot to pick her kids up too. So she had to take them to school too. So a bit of a rough start here for me in the morning, due to the fact that I didn't sleep the last two nights. So, I mean, I'm suffering from what you call PTSD from the military. So, stuff happens sometimes and, go through an episode that, I can't really sleep. So we're going to get started here. We're going to go ahead and talk about the latest sports headline news this morning. If you watched the Chiefs and Chargers game, we know about the 5:09 remaining on the Thursday night game with the 27-24 loss. Herbert for the Chargers took a hit from the Chiefs defensive end, Mike Dunna, that left him lying on the field for an extended period. He missed one play before returning. Then he was immediately crushed between the Chiefs pass rusher, Frank Clark, and George Karnarvas, but remained in the game. Herbert did not speak to reporters after the Chargers spokesperson saying he would not be available, citing the rib injury. So he suffered a rib injury last night. So hope Herbert gets good. We'll talk a little bit more about that game later on. The next headline we want to go talk to is the Phoenix Suns majority owner Jam Najif calls for Robert Server's resignation. We know what's going on. Server is spending the NBA suspending him for 1 year. But the Phoenix Suns vice chairman and majority owner Jam Najif, the team's second largest stakeholder, called for the majority owner Robert Server resignation in an open letter to team employees released on Thursday night, saying there should be zero tolerance for all the allegation that racism and all that stuff that went into the workplace. Server was banned from the NBA for 1 year and fined $10 million after the NBA on Tuesday released his findings from a 10-month independent investigation into allegation of workplace abuse during Server's tenure as a manager partner of the Suns that has spanned nearly 2 decades. Najib went on and said that who has been critical of Server since the allegations were first reported by ESPN in November, is one of the 3 vice chairmen for the Suns, with several other majority investors also part of the ownership group. We continue on this similar conduct by the CEO, executive director, president, teachers, coach, or any other position of the leadership will warrant an immediate termination. Najib wrote in the letter, the fact that Robert Server owns the team does not give him the license to treat others differently than any other leader. The fact that anyone would find him fit to lead because of his leadership position is forgetting that the NBA belongs to the community they serve. And that is true. The NBA does belong to the community they serve. So the league has the right to do what they need to do to the owners. I think Server needs to do the right thing. Just go ahead and step down, sell the team, sell his ownership, and move on, because I think it's going to be hard for him to come back on this racism and all that stuff, that what's going on in the world today. So I mean, I think he has the right to do it. Robert Jam Naviv, I think he has the right thing to do, to go ahead and tell him to, he needs to go ahead and resign. And also, team investors are merely temporary stewards. If we, as a sports leaders, are not held to the same standards, then how can we expect functional society with integrated and respect on any level? That is true. We owe it to you, the employees, players, partners, and your family to provide the same positive workplace environment we would require from any other business. And I agree with that to supplemental. So I think he has the point. I think he needs to go ahead and Server needs to go ahead and just resign and sell his stake into the team, and then move on the rest of his life away from the NBA. So that's on the NBA front right there. Remarkable Alexa Thomas historic triple-double keeps Suns alive versus Las Vegas. With theirs back against the wall, the WNBA playoffs, the Kinetic Suns found another gear, leading the way as the players they call Machine, Alyssa Thomas. She had the first triple-double in the WNBA Finals history Thursday as the Suns beat the Las Vegas Ace 105-76 in Game 3 of the best-of-5 series after losing the first 2 games out of the famed strip. If anyone thought the Suns would roll over the Ace sweep, well, no one who follows the WNBA thought that. It just not the Suns' personality. They lost a close game 1 on Sunday and not a so close game on Game 2 on Tuesday at the Michelob Alter Arena in Las Vegas, but back home in the Mohegan Sun Arena in front of their fans, the Suns summons the mojo they needed to force Game 4, which will be played Sunday here in Connecticut at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. And they went on ahead and said, if you would encapsulate Connecticut is physical and very resilient, ace coach Becky Hammond said of the Sun. They have the kind of battle type mentality, and we didn't match that tonight in that any category. They just kicked our ass in every possible way. And that's coming from Becky Hammond, real respected former San Antonio Suns assistant coach. She's now the head coach of the Suns. And of Thomas, who finished with 16 points, 15 rebounds, and 11 assists, Hammond said she's a beast. I went to the USC fight the other night, and I would not want to get in the cage with her. She is just tough, and then a playmaker. So, once again, the Thursday night Suns beat the Las Vegas Ace 105-76 in Game 3 of the best of 5 series after losing the first 2 games out of the Fame Strip. So that's the WNBA's news for this morning. Let's go ahead and continue on. Sources said Seattle star safety Jamal Adams is expected to miss the rest of the season. That's big. That's a big development news there for the Seahawks. Unbelievable. I hope he gets better. The Seattle Seahawks safety Jamal Adams is expected to miss the remainder of the NFL season after suffering an injury to his quadricep tendon in the team's opener, and a source confirms it to ESPN Jeremy Fowler. The Seahawks placed Adams on injury reserves on Thursday and said defensive back teased Tabler off to the Atlanta Falcons practice squads to take his place on the 53-man roster. He has to be on the when you sign somebody off the other team's practice squad, they have to immediately go onto the 53-man roster. So Tabler from off the Atlanta Falcons practice squad will be on the 53-man roster of the Seattle Seahawks, taking Jamal Adams' spot on there. Jamal Adams will be out for the remainder of the NFL season after suffering an injury to his quadriceps tendon. That's a very painful injury in your quadriceps, so it takes a lot of time for those tissues to heal up. So will miss the remainder of the season. Adams and the Seahawks believe the three-time Pro Bowl selection was in for a bounce-back campaign after the disappointing 2021 season, in which he has held without a sack in 12 games. But by any chance of the end of in the second quarter of the Seahawks 17-16 victory over the Denver Broncos on Monday night, when Adams was carted off the field after he was hurt while blitzing former teammate Russell Wilson. Coach Pete Carroll called it a serious injury post-game and said on his weekly radio show on Seattle Sports 710 a.m. on Tuesday morning that Adams would have to get some work on that, and though he stopped short of declaring that Adams' season was over. But sources are expecting Adams' seasons will be over. I mean, if he's got to have operation on that tendon, that takes a long time for that tendon to come back. If he does come back, it probably won't be but probably about week 12, week 13, and maybe then Seattle might be out of the playoff hunt. We don't know. We don't know how good Geno Smith for the Seattle Seahawks is going to be for the offense. He was pretty dynamic. He ran the team. He didn't turn the ball over. He ran the team effectively, but we all know at the end Denver decided to kick a 64-yard field goal and he missed, and Nathaniel came out the next day saying he should never went with the 64-yard field goal. So I think that's kind of a barometer of set for Nathaniel Hackett. So we're going to see how that's transplant. So we'll keep an eye on Jamal Adams' news here on the ASAP in the morning. Phil Mickelson is considered removing name from federal antitrust lawsuit against the PGA Tour. We know the situation with the PGA Tour. Some of the players want to go to play in this live golf federal entry. So all these players went in and got a federal lawsuit for the Live Golf federal antitrust lawsuit against the PGA Tour. Phil Mickelson on Thursday said he's considered removing his name from that from that lawsuit, antitrust lawsuit. Mickelson was among 11 golfers who sued the PGA on August 3rd, alleging they had improperly been suspended for playing in the live golf event and that the PGA Tour was using its monopoly power to suppress competition. Live Golf joined its players as a plaintiff in the lawsuit on August 27th. This is quote here from Mickelson. I haven't done anything yet, but now that Live is involved, it's not necessary for me to be a part of it. Mickelson said after playing in Thursday's Live Golf Pro-Am at Richard Harvest Farms, I currently still am part of the lawsuit, but I don't know what I'm really going to do. The only reason for me to stay in this is damages, which I don't really want or need anything. So that's the latest on the golf news here. He also went on that Mickelson has been in a center of Live Golf ongoing battle with the PGA Tour for the best players in the world. He was among the first players to sign with Live, which is financed by Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund and front by 2 times Open winner Greg Norman. Mickelson had complained that the PGA obnoxious argued that professional golfers were free agents who should be able to play whenever they want. Mickelson went on and said, I do think it is important that players have the right to be able to play when and where they want and where they qualify for. Mickelson said now that Live is a part of the lawsuit that will be accomplished when they win. Mickelson controversial comments to author Alan Shipnick about the PGA Tour and his Saudi Arabians caused him to spend 4 months away from golf. The lawsuit said Mickelson was first suspended for 2 months by the PGA Tour on March 22nd for attempting to recruit players to Live Golf and appeal committee upheld Mickelson's suspension. His request for reinstatement about 2 months later and was denied because he had played in the first Live Golf in London, but the tour unlawful conducted across Mickelson endorsement deals and sponsorships, the lawsuit said. Notably, the tour is the only golf tour shown regularly on broadcast TV in the United States, and it earns vastly more in sponsorship, advertising, and broadcast revenue than any other golf tournament. 4 players who were originally plaintiffs in the lawsuit, Abraham Acer, Carlos Ortiz, Pat Perez, and Jason Kolnak, are no longer involved in the case. So that's a little bit on the golf side of the news there on the All Sports All Plays in the morning. Also, the Tampa Bay Rays use an all-Latina American starting lineup on Roberto Clemente Day. This is the first time the Tampa Bay Devil Rays have sent an all-Latino lineup for a game. The Tampa Bay started an unprecedented 9 Latin American players in their lineup Thursday on Roberto Clemente Day, going on the route the Toronto Blue Jays 11-0. Clemente is the late Hall of Famer outfielder from Puerto Rico, was 2-time World Series winner and National League MVP, who played 18 seasons with Pittsburgh. The Rays' 9 starters are from 5 countries: Colombia, Cuba, Mexico, Venezuela, and the Dominican Republic. Yanni Diaz very happily, especially this is what he said in the press release. Very happy, especially on a day like today, who hit 3 home runs. And I think that Latinos are really putting a stamp on the game of baseball. Diaz was joined by Randy Arzarena, Water Fresco, Pearl Ramirez, Manuel Margot, Davis Peralta, Isaac Paredes, Rene Patento, and Joe Siri. All 9 Rays starters, as well as base coach Chris Perito and Rodney Linares, wore number 21 to honor Clemente. The players posed for a photo on the field. That's a very sentimental thing that Diaz has said. I hope that it put his jersey and a lineup card in the frame to remember the historic day. Rays manager Kevin Cash said that the lineup was based on the batters he wanted to face: Toronto's right-hander Kevin Gausman. We've got a reverse split guy who's so loaded up righties. Cass said it just worked out that they were all Latino background. So they put an all Latino thing out there for the first time. I think that was very admirable. I think it was very honorable to Roberto Clemente. Yes, Roberto Clemente is from Puerto Rico. In San Juan, Puerto Rico, they have a baseball stadium named after him. Been there a couple of times to watch some baseball games out of that when I was over there, when I was stationed over there with TAD over there with to Roosevelt Roads. And when the Navy used to have a base over there, they closed the base down in Puerto Rico. So in San Juan, Puerto Rico, there is a Roberto Clemente baseball park, which is a very nice park. For the standards of Puerto Rico. So, I mean, I've been there. So I've been to a couple games, baseball games inside that stadium. I think this is a very nice gesture that the way the Rays did on Roberto Clemente's day. So that's the latest there. We'll continue on. The NHL. This is NHL news from this morning. This is the latest news headlines this morning we're going through. NHL is considering World Cup play in for 2024. Unsure on Russian Commissioner Bill Daley says the NHL is considering a play-in tournament for the 2024 World Cup of Hockey. That would be held directly before the February event. For the 2024, we may do a mid-qualifier as part of a tournament, NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daley told ESPN on Thursday during the player media tour here. The NHL and the NHLPA are working out a deal for the first World Cup of Hockey since 2016, targeting a 17-day window in February 2024 that would interrupt the 2023 to 2024 regular season of NHL. There are no plans to bring back two novelty teams from the 2016 tournament, Team North America, which was a 23 and under squad, and Team Europe, which was comprised of players who didn't have national teams in the tournament. The Team of Europe made the 2016 World Cup final, losing to Team Canada. Instead of an expectation is that 10 national teams will take part in the 2024 World Cup of Hockey, with 2 teams eliminated in the qualification round, and to create an 8-man team field. It is expected that would include returning national teams: Canada, Team USA, Sweden, Finland, Czech Republic, and team representing Russia. The other national teams could include Switzerland, Slovakia, Germany, Austria, Norway, and others. They expected to spend the field would give the NHL a chance to showcase high-profile players that might otherwise not participate in the World Cup, like Edmonton Oilers star Lenin Jaruski of Germany, Nashville Predator defenseman Robin Joes, and Switzerland and Montreal Canadiens first-round pick Jaraz Slovakia of Slovakia. If they participate on some basis, then you can cover your bases a little bit, Daley said. In the future, World Cup NHL said it would identically hold the play-in tournament at the end of the preceding summer. Other issue facing the 2024 World Cup hockey is how to handle Russia's involvement due to the ongoing war in Ukraine. While Daley said it was too early to determine how Russia would appear in the World Cup, he said Russian players will participate in the event. Certainly we'll like that. Think that our Russian players would like that, so we would certainly like to accommodate them in some incredible way. He said that could mean taking a similar approach into the Olympics, having Russian players competing but not under their national team's name or flag. So that's coming out of the NHL. That's a little bit of good news there for the NHL, getting back to World Hockey Games, World Cup games coming back in, and gets a little break into the hockey season too. With the hockey season, it gives them a little break to showcase their star players a little bit more on the world scene and giving them play for their countries. So I think that's incredible news coming out of the hockey. Let's see here. Okay, Las Vegas Ace, Ajaya Wilson, Seattle Storms, Bruna Stewart headlined the All Women NBA First Team. Regaining WMVP, Ajaya Wilson of the Los Angeles Ace and the Seattle Bruna Stewart were unanimously selected to the 2022 All WNBA First Team. The league announced Thursday ahead of Game 3 of the WNBA Finals. It was the third consecutive All WNBA nod for Wilson. Also, will seek to deliver the Ace a franchise first championship win and Thursday over the Connecticut Suns, and the fifth overall for Stewart. So the first team ballot here is Elijah Wilson, Brenda Stewart, Chrysler Plum, Skylar Diggs Smith, Candace Parker, Alicia Thompson, Sabrina Adorusu, Ike Omega, Jal Jones, and Sybil Flowers. They all are first team NBA, first and second team voting for the NBA. The Chicago Sky, Candace Parker and Ace Clemson Plum, and the Mercury Skylar Diggs Smith round out the first team. Admitted a career year in which Plum who also earned the first team All-Star bid and won the All-Star Game MVP. Plum All-Star All Women NBA selection, and it is the first of her career. Parker and Diggs Smith completed their 10th. 6 All-NBA honors, respectively. Plum drew 50 of the 56 possible first-team votes and 5 second-team votes, while Skylar Diggs Smith recorded 21 first-team votes, 26 second-team votes. Parker collected 24 first-team votes, 21 second-team votes. The Sun, Alicia Thompson, and the New York Liberty, Sabrina Alarus, also received the first team All WNBA selection of their career as a member of the second team, joining the Los Angeles Sparks. Nagaya Umaka, fifth selection, and Suns Jagul Jones, fourth. And in her first season prior for retirement, Sybil Flowers, Boucher of the Minnesota Lynx, eighth selection. Thompson was the only second team player to earn at least 20 first team votes and still end up on the second team. Stewart, Plum, and Thomas and Parker finished numbers 2 and 5, and the MVP voted behind Wilson. So, and the voting for all the NBA team was conducted in a position-less format for the first team in the league history. Just 3 of the 10 players to make their teams were listed as guards. Each member of the first team will receive $10,300, and each player of the second team will receive $5,150. So that gives them a little bit of money there for the WNBA team here. So let's go ahead and break down the Major League Baseball scores here. So that's all the latest news on the East up in the morning. We're going to go ahead and break down the Major League Baseball scores here from last night. And then we'll update the wild card situation here. On Thursday, September 15th, 2022, the White Sox over the Guardians 8-2. The Tampa Bay Rays over the Blue Jays 11-0. Marlins over the Phillies 5-3. Astros over the Athletics 5-2. Mets over the Pirates 7-1. The Twins over the Royals 3-2. Reds over the Cardinals 3-2. And the Diamondbacks shuts out the San Diego Padres 4-0. So that is your rundown of your Major League Baseball. Let's go ahead and check the standings here and see what we got here. Right now, the only really tight race is the National League East, which the Braves are now 1 game behind. New York Mets is 90-55 losses. Braves are 88-55 losses. So they're 1 game behind because they are only 88 wins. So the Mets have 2 more wins and 2 more games played for them. So they're battling out. Rest of the thing, American League East, the New York Yankees are 6.5 games over the second place Toronto. Blue Jays, the Cleveland is 3 games over the Chicago White Sox in the Central, the American League Central, the American League West. Houston's a 13 game over Seattle, which I just talked about. The Braves, the Mets are over the Braves by a game. In the National League East, that's the only tight race really. That's going to be going down to the wire. St. Louis, the National League Central, St. Louis is over 7.5 over the Milwaukee Brewers. And the Dodgers are 21 games ahead over the San Diego Padres, which have clinched the West Division of the National League East. And let's look at the wild card here. The wild card right now stands Seattle and Toronto are plus 0.5 to make the wild card game. Tampa is the other one. They're no games behind. Baltimore is 4.5. Chicago White Sox 6.5, and Minnesota 7.5, and Boston continues at 11. Like I said, now Kansas City has joined Detroit and Oakland. They have been officially eliminated from the playoff contention and in Major League Baseball. The Braves right now are plus 10.5. Phillies plus 10-2, and San Diego is fighting for that last one, which is they're a game and a half behind, a game and a half ahead of Milwaukee, 8.5 over San Francisco, and the Arizona's 9.5 back. The two teams have now joined the National League elimination. The Miami Marlins has now officially been eliminated from the playoffs. Cincinnati has officially been eliminated from the playoffs. Pittsburgh has officially been eliminated from the playoffs, and the Washington National has been eliminated from the playoffs. So that's all your standings right now in your wild card for Major League Baseball and stuff like that. So before we get into where we're going to be heading next, we'll be heading to we're going to be talking about the San Diego Chargers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll be right back right after these measures here. Give me a little bit of break here, and then we'll be right back to talk about the breakdown of the Thursday night game. The Chargers 24, Chiefs 27 on the Thursday night game. We'll be right back on the All Sports All Plays Network.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making up plays. We're talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
What did you say?
I said Kobe Bean Bryant has been overrated ever since he passed away.
Now, I'd say they could lose about 4, but I don't see them losing 5. You know what I mean?
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
This is the Fox D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at foxdnetwork.com.
Welcome back to the All Sports All Plays in the morning on the All Sports All Plays Network. You can see us on Facebook, you can see us on YouTube, you can see us on Twitch, you can see us on Twitter, you can see us on the Roku TV and other various platforms here on the All Sports All Plays Network. We're back. We're going to go ahead and talk about this game, the Thursday night game that you have seen just on Prime Video. Hope y'all have Prime. Hope y'all got to see this good game. This game was going back and forth. Chargers 24 versus the Chiefs 27 was the final. And let's get some of the breakdowns of this ball game here. If you look at it here, let's break down the scoring here by quarters. The Chargers scored 3. The Chargers scored 7 in the second quarter. It was 10-7 at halftime because the Chiefs came back and scored 7, and they didn't score none in the first. They scored 7 in the second quarter. The second quarter was even. The third quarter continued scoring at 7-7. And then the fourth quarter, that's when the funnel came out of the gates here. The Chargers scored 7-13 points by the Chiefs. And let's break down how they scored these points here. First quarter, field goal at 5 minutes and 58 seconds. Dustin Hopkins, 31-yard for the Chargers. Second quarter, TD at 14:57 mark. Xander Horvath, first 1-yard pass from Justin Herbert. Justin Hopkins with the kick, make it 10-0. TD by 11:38 mark. Jerick McKinnon, 9-yard pass from Patrick Mahomes. Matt Amendola, who is the new kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs while Buckner is out. He kicked the extra point, made it 10-7 at halftime. Third quarter, TD at the 9:52 mark. Mike Williams, 15 yards pass from Justin Herbert. Dustin Hopkins kicked, made it 17-7. Kansas City is down by 10. At the touchdown at the 7:22 mark in the third quarter, Justin Watson, 41 yards from Patrick Mahomes. And Matt Amendola kicked, made it 17-14. Fourth quarter, Kansas City kicked the field goal at 14:58 mark. Matt Amendola kicked a 19-yard field goal to make it 17-17. And then it was a TD by Jalen Watson at the 10:29 mark in the fourth quarter. This is what turned the game really around for KC. A 99-yard interception return from the rookie, Jalen Watson. Matt Amendola kicked, made it 17-24. Then a field goal added by Matt Amendola at a 31-yard field goal at 17-27, made it a 10-point game. And then at TAD, with 1 minute and 1:11 seconds left, Josh Palmer, 7-yard from Justin Herbert. This is after Herbert got hurt at the 5:07 mark that he hurt his ribs. I told you earlier in the broadcast when I went through the latest news. Made it 24-27. So that was some key plays, but that big TD turned the event of this game around. Justin Herbert made that one mistake. Jalen Watson made a good job inviting Herbert to throw the ball to Everett, and then he undercut Everett at the end to intercept the ball. That was a good play that forced that turnover and returned it 99 yards on that kick, and that was at the 10:29 mark. The 10:29 mark in the fourth quarter turned this game around for Kansas City. Kansas City was getting bottled up all night long. Mahomes made some good plays. The defense from the Chargers was excellent all game long. But, I mean, key plays for both teams. Defense played hard. Herbert was rushed 7 times, got hit 8. I think he got hit like 5 or 6 times. But the last hit in the fourth quarter with the 5:07 mark, he got beat up big time. And then the other 2 pass rushers came in and hit him again. Really caused them. You can see the discomfort in Herbert all throughout that. After he hurt his ribs in the middle at the 5:07 mark, he was glitching. But he did make that one good touchdown pass. They had a chance on the onside kick. It failed. Kansas City took control of the onside kick and kneeled down for the victory. So Kansas City took the Chargers here. And it's the first time I think Herbert lost in Kansas City, because I think previous meeting he was 2-0. So, and then Damien chimes in and says Mike Williams was giving KC hell. Yeah, Mike Williams was the offense. He catched the ball when he needed to. He had some good catches in this ball game. He has some, and we're going to talk about him too when we come up here. Eckler had 14 carries for 39 yards. The rushing game was really a non-factor. Edwards Helaire, he had 8 carries for 74 yards. He had a big rush that led to that field goal to put him up by 10, to put the party result of the game away there. But Mike Williams, like Damien said, Mike Williams had 8 receptions, 113 yards, 1 touchdown. He made some great catches, some highly tested catches. Leading for the receiving for Kansas City was Kelsey with 5 receptions for 51 yards. Pat Mahomes was 24 out of 35 for 235 yards and 2 touchdowns. But that one key interception, Herbert was 33 out of 48, 334 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. That one interception cost him. And when we broke down the game that morning on Thursday morning, we said the turnovers would be a key in this ball game. And if Justin Herbert didn't turn the ball over, I think Chargers would have won this game. But the turnover happened. He returned 99 yards, got 7 points off the turnover battle there. So I mean, that's something that we knew. If you look at the total yards here, the Chargers outgained more yards, 401 to 319 to Kansas City. But the big turnover by the Chargers quarterback, threw the ball right into Watson's hand. He returned it back for a touchdown. That was a pick six. 99 yards, pick six, 99 yards, turning this game around for KC. Chargers was dominating in every fashion, 21 first downs to 15 to KC. We talked about the first down efficiency. We talked about third down efficiency. Charger was 5 out of 16 and third down, 4 out of 12 for Kansas City. And I'm gonna bring on Rob here. Me and Rob talked about this early in the morning thing. Let's go ahead, Rob, and let me bring you on here, man. How you doing, dude?
Man, what's happening, Ray? How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good, but we told you, we talked about it, turnover. That one big turnover turned this ball game around.
Man, I mean, it was a close game up until that point. It looked like the Chargers actually had a chance to run away with it. And like you said, man, it's the big turnover, the pick six, man. And he played that perfectly. He played it perfectly. Yeah, he did. He baited him hook, line, and sinker, man. And the way that he was able to get that, it definitely turned things around for the Chiefs, because they were looking like they were in trouble for a second. Mahomes wasn't able to, quite click like he was last Sunday. That defense was able to bottle him up. We said it. We said that the defense for the Chargers was going to be tough, and they came out there looking for blood. But Mahomes was able to stand strong, make big plays when he could. And, the defense for the Chiefs, surprisingly, Kansas City don't win that game without their defense.
Yeah, but see, to me, that big turnover, that big 99 yards, they were going in to score. That score, if they would have scored that touchdown, I believe that would have put Kansas City away.
Yeah. You know what? The Chargers were definitely missing Keenan Allen as well. If you would have been able to add Keenan Allen with that Mike Williams attack, I'm telling you, man, that would have been pretty nasty for the Chargers.
Yeah.
But shout out to Justin Herbert, man. I hope he's okay. I know he took a couple nasty shots. I know he was dealing with those ribs, but he is, a trooper, able to finish the game. Will we see him for next week's play? That's yet to be said, but hopefully he can recover. But it's never easy dealing with a rib injury, because every time you breathe, you feel it.
Yeah, and then Damian said, I never thought I would see Kelsey get body slammed like he did last night. Damn. And then Anthony Price says Chargers might be in trouble if Herbert is really injured. Yeah. If he really broke that rib, then he could be out 2 to 3 weeks, even though they have a long week since they played the Thursday night game. Anybody plays the Thursday night game, you have the long week. Yeah. You have about a week and a half.
About a week and a half, yeah.
About a week and a half, or you can do. But we'll keep track of that as practice resumes on Monday. They probably won't practice. They probably do film study today, and then probably have the day rest of the weekend off, and then come back on Monday. I don't know how the Chargers works their Thursday night practice schedule, but that's usually what the Jaguars do. If they play on Thursday night, they have game film on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with their families, and then Monday back into the office.
Yeah, man. I mean, the Chargers, unfortunately, they're in the division. No quarterback can afford to miss a number of weeks, because it's going to be so neck and neck, because even though the Chargers got that loss, they're still right there, and I feel like this division is going to be like that all season. It's going to come down to the wire. The AFC West, man. We said it. Every game in the AFC West is going to have a playoff atmosphere. It's going to have a playoff feel. And last night felt like I was watching a playoff game. I mean, I was enjoying every minute of it on Amazon Prime, baby.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the video, I mean, I got the high powerful gigabyte
Yeah,
fiber optic, but everybody's on that freaking thing, and the picture sometimes gets distorted looking.
I know.
And I'm like, what the freak? I said, and they supposed to play this thing on the Amazon server, the AWS that Amazon runs, that want everybody to be on the hosting server. That wasn't a good view last night because when everybody started logging in on the servers and stuff like that, it kind of distorted the picture, even though you had a high definition.
Yeah.
You know, I never got buffered, but you still high definition, supposed to be in high definition, supposed to have no lag or a kind of picture distorted. I mean, some of the plays I had to make out, I had to rewatch it again to see if I could get it back. And so, yeah, but we talked about third down efficiency. Both teams were Chargers was 5-16, and Kansas City was 4-12. But the fourth down efficiency, Chargers was 4 for 4.
Yeah, but you know what was crazy? The Chargers actually kind of did what I said they needed to do to win this game. You know, they won the time of possession. They only had, you know, they had the one turnover, but unfortunately it was a costly turnover because it resulted in a pick six. But they led in passing yards, you know, wasn't able to get, you know, the rushing game going, but, you know, led in first downs. Like you said, 4 for fourth down, and even had more total plays than the Kansas City Chiefs. It's just that, you know, that's the difference in the game. You can do everything right, but it's always that one mistake that can cost you, and that was that pick six.
Yeah, if you look at it, Chargers were leading just about everything in stats wise.
Yeah.
Total yards 401 to 319. Passing yards went to the Chargers. The rushing yards went. The actual rushing yards went to Kansas City. That's what they won. Red zone. Chargers were 50% in the red zone. KC was 1 for 3 in the red zone. Penalty wise, KC had more penalties, with six penalties, 54 yards to 3 penalties, 25 yards. But the one mistake right there they lost was that turnover battle at 1-0.
Yeah.
And that costs it when you do a turnover and one pick and makes it go back 99 yards for a pick six.
And it was a clean interception because when they showed the replay, I'm like, okay, let's just make sure, you know, no late flag comes out or whatnot. But if you look, I mean, he barely touched the guy. He literally stayed back and he waited for that. And he was already on the ball before the receiver even knew it was out of Hubert's hands. So, I mean, he played that perfectly. And I was surprisingly shocked. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs defense in that second half began to kind of lock it down and keep Herbert and them out the end zone. And, you know, I was shocked, man, because, you know, Kansas City is not known for their defense. They're known for their gunslinger and Patrick Mahomes. But you got to give that defense a huge shout out. They stood up in the second half, especially, you know, they looked like they were going to get on the roll. You know, Herbert started finding the end zone, started getting down there in the red zone. That defense stood up, though, man. Shout out to Kansas City. They said they are still the kings of the West right now.
I mean, to me, that pass play, if you look at it too, Herbert threw the ball too much inside.
Yeah,
he would have thrown it to the outside.
Yeah.
The dude probably committed pass interference on him because he had to go through the guy. If he would have placed the ball to the outside shoulder instead of the inside shoulder, that guy would never had a chance to pick the ball off.
Oh, yeah. He was playing the inside the whole time. The whole time. He was waiting on that inside because he put himself in perfect position. And when you get a pick six like that, like you said, 99 yards, that means you played that perfectly to the point where you wasn't even touched. He was able to catch the ball and go right in stride to the end zone. I mean, yeah, I felt bad for Herbert, man, because he's a tough kid, and you can tell it's some greatness lurking in that kid. You know, it just, you know, too many injuries and that one costly mistake, man. And not to mention, man, that rushing game gave him nothing. They gave him nothing.
Yeah, they only had 39. They only had a total of 75 yards rushing. I mean, the Chargers did keep Kansas City under 100 yards rushing at 93. Yeah. Anthony Price came out and said Chargers was playing too good to just have 10 points. I agree too. I think they should have more points, but they were 3 and 5 in the red zone, so that's a little bit of a miss, thing right there. 50%. You figure 50%, you should be all right, a little bit above 50% better, but if you had 5 trips into the red zone, you only scored three touchdowns, out of that, 3 scores out of that. I mean, that's okay, but the Chargers wasn't even they weren't even better. They were 1 for 3.
Yeah,
They were under 50%.
yeah.
But like I said, that one key play, that one turnover, that one interception, one misplaced ball, and then you said he went on and said Patrick is a monster when he runs and then he throws. Yes, that one
he
play
is.
we talked about it.
The
We talked about it
sidearm.
earlier. That sidearm slight, got the ball through, got the touchdown out of that. But
Hey,
they did
Pat
try.
Mahomes is a wizard.
They did try a shovel pass. It didn't work though.
Hey, you know what though? I respect Pat Mahomes because he keeps reinventing the wheel, and you're gonna get a lot of quarterbacks now that they're gonna watch him, that are mobile quarterbacks that are gonna try some of these things. But I mean, Pat Mahomes makes magic happen. I mean, that offensive line collapse, the way he's able to get outside of the pocket, and a lot of people will tell you that watch Pat Mahomes, he's quicker than you think. I mean, he got a nice little first step, and when he gets in stride, he can move laterally very well. Very avoidable, and he's always keeping his eyes downfield because he knows one of his guys are going to get open. And I think yesterday was just a testament to how maybe the Tyreek Hill trade actually benefited the Chiefs, because even though nobody really had a big game, he was able to spread the ball around because he had such a plethora of weapons, and even their run game got to get going. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think what he had, let's check here on my stats, 8 carries for 74 yards, averaging 9.2 yards a play. That's not bad. Just something to keep the defense honest, to keep them on their heels, where that play action can work for Mahomes, where his motion can help him outside of the pocket, keep plays alive, and he's able, to overlook the defense and the different stunts that they do, and get the trickery plays off, man. I mean, I told you, man, right now I think Mahomes is on a different level. Tyreek Hill probably should have kept his mouth shut, because I think he gave that man added motivation, saying Tua Tagovailoa is better than him.
Yeah, I don't see that. I mean, Miami won that one game. He's talking junk, but also you got to contribute to Patrick Mahomes to his baseball skills, them sidearm throws, and too. That's his. He said they dedicated that to his baseball career when he was playing. So I mean, he was a good, phenomenal baseball player. He was I think he was a shortstop or something. Yeah. So them sidearm throws. Sometimes you can't concentrate on them sidearm throws that come out of baseball to a football, but Patrick Mahomes makes you think that anything could be impossible. The only way he could complete that pass was throw a sidearm pass.
Yeah, it was.
If he would have thrown it over, the dude probably would have picked it off.
Or at least batted it down. I mean,
yeah.
And he threw it with precision. I mean, he zipped it right in there. And, kind of almost reminded me of a Michael Vick throw. You remember Michael Vick kind of used to have that sidearm where he threw darts. And, I mean, Pat Mahomes, man, just a complete wizard. I'm still waiting to see when he's going to try the behind-the-back pass. I'm anxious to see who he's going to do that against. But
he better not do that. I don't know if that was going to get completed or not. And then Damon said Kilo Mack had very quiet last night. He wasn't. I mean, to me, he affected some of the plays. He might not have made the tackle, but he affected some of the plays. He had 2 tackles, 1 solo tackle, and he had a half a sack along with Trans Quill with a half a sack there. The big tackling on the night was Darian James Jr. with a big body slam tackle on Kelsey.
Oh my God!
So it shows his strength. 9 tackles, 6 solos, and he had 1 tackle for a loss.
Are we calling that a tackle or a spine buster? I mean, my man's pulled out the WWE playbook, and when they slowed it down, it just because Kelsey
was a form tackle,
man.
It was a form tackle.
Very strong man, and he stopped Kelsey in his tracks.
Yeah,
he that man up, and oh my God, I was like, oh,
yeah, he's like he's on the practice squad, on the practice field with the sled. You know how you do your form tackle, and you pick up and you slam it. That was a good form tackle, man. And then people's like, I was reading some of the comments on some of the Facebook NFL pages. Yeah. Oh, that should have been a flag. That should have been a flag. No, I said, dude, that was a perfect tackle. You put the shoulder right with the midsection in, you lift up, you put them down on the ground. That's a good form tackle. I mean, I'm going to tell you, these NFL fans sometimes are now soft.
Yeah.
Because, looking back in the 80s, back in the 80s, these dudes would run over. Lawrence Hill was killing people. You know,
He'll run you over and then push your
yeah.
helmet to the ground to get up, just to let you know.
And then you got the Redskins back in the day when they were called the Redskins.
Yeah.
The pig they called them the Hogs. They were the manhandling and run you over. They didn't care. I remember Lawrence Hill said one time that he got pinned under one guy, and the other guy was coming in and slamming his head down with his elbow.
Yeah.
So the next time he gets
a physical game.
So next time he gets up, he lines over the guy and bull rushes him right up the middle. You know, and today I think the NFL is a little bit. I know they got to protect the players. I understand that. I understand the protection and stuff like that. But football back in the day was brutal. I mean, you go down the middle, you get your head taken off. You don't go down the middle no more. Now you can't take nobody's head off, so everybody's getting the completions down the middle because everybody ain't afraid because you got these penalties, you know, that protects. Well, I mean, I understand, but you know, back in the day when we played football was violent.
Yeah. You know, especially too in the neighborhoods, because we'll go up to the park and we playing tackle football with no protection. You know, so I can't tell you the countless number of scars I got on my arm for being a young lad, you know, practicing what we just saw on TV. But you know what? That's one thing I get afraid of, because I heard another football player, and they kind of had a point, and he was saying, well, you got all these rules to protect the offense. What about when you know to protect the defense when these guys are blindsiding us off the line and things like that? And I'm like, man, you know, how many rules are we gonna put in place? Just gonna take the physicality out of the game, and that's what people watch football for. I watch it for the physicality. It's a man's sport, you know. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I can understand taking the quarterback's knees out and stuff like that, and throwing flags for that. That's dangerous because he can't protect themselves. But that's yeah. I mean, if you hit the quarterback clean, but now they got it where you can't. Yeah, like the one they did on Kelsey. If you would have done that to the quarterback, you would have got flagged for it because you land on top of him. You can't even land on top of the quarterback. So how are you supposed to hit a quarterback in these days that you can't, when you go and do a nice form tackle and you can't help it, but you know you put him down on a nice form tackle, a legal form tackle, and they get a flag for it.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible, you know. And like you said, the fans are, you know, it's sad that they're getting accustomed to these new rules, that we think a tackle like that on Kelsey is a flag. No, to me, that's what you call football. Is you versus me. You want to get in this end zone, you got to get through me. And I respected that last night. It was a great physical game. You know, and I think this game is going to definitely help the psyche of the Kansas City Chiefs, because we know that we can finesse you. But if we can accumulate some W's, winning these ugly games, now we're going to feel like we're prepared for any game we have to play in the postseason. So, I mean, hey, that's the last thing you want, is an already cocky Mahomes getting confidence.
Yeah. And then let's talk about how J.C. Jackson got turned and burned. And I mean, but he did pretty good. I mean, besides certain plays in the game, I mean, J.C. Jackson had 6 solo tackles. I mean, he made his tackles when he needed to, but he did get turned, and you know, really don't want to put him down to bad and shame like that. But he did have, I mean, stat wise, he had a really good game. I mean, you know, certain times the corner is going to get turned and burned, you know, and he's going to get abused. I mean, but he held his own at most part of the game. But like at crucial times, like I said, that big key run, the 52-yard run by Sinclair, helped him get in that field goal to put him up by 10. That was a big, huge run right there. The Herbert situation, getting on the 5:07 mark, getting his rib. Either we don't know how the extent of it, because he didn't talk to the media. He wasn't available. He went straight with the team medicals right into the X-ray room. We don't know what the X-ray. They haven't come out and said what the X-ray says. We probably won't find that out, and probably sometime next week maybe we'll find out how they're going to work his practice and stuff like that. But I mean, still, you had that rib cage pad. I mean, his rib cage pads wasn't real thick like some of the quarterbacks have.
Yeah.
His is a little bit smaller. I think they should have. I think he needs probably a little bit bigger of a rib cage pad and stuff protect his ribs. I mean, the one he had was really really small. It's not really thick like most quarterbacks wear.
Yeah. He's got. I mean, and he's definitely going to have a thicker one if he comes back to play, because regardless if he comes out there or not, those ribs are not going to heal within a week. Just not going to happen. So, hopefully, as I mentioned earlier, I hope Justin is able to, get the treatment he needs, get back on the field. Because I mean, you would just hate the reason that the Chargers season is gone because he has to miss a couple of weeks when expectations are so high for this team, So, and like I mentioned, this is a division you can't afford to miss 2 or 3 games.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Damon Hernandez says Kelsey got Bautista bombed. That really wasn't I mean, I know he was more of a spine buster. It was more of an Arn Anderson. It was more of an Arn Anderson spine buster, or a Roman Reigns or Edge's spear with Goldberg type power. He also said that he wanted to question now that Amazon is showing NFL games. Do y'all see Bezos still trying to become a Washington owner, or is that over with? To me, I think Bezos will probably be a better owner than Dan Snyder for the Washington team. But the question is, will Bezos decide to take it and do what Shad Khan does? Shad Khan lives in Illinois. He travels back and forth to Jacksonville all the time. So will Bezos settle out of Seattle and go and move to DC, or will he just travel back and forth or have a team president? Like Shad Khan here, he has a team president, Mark Limpin. He runs the team while he's down here. He runs the players. He runs the operation side. Everything you see with Jacksonville Jaguars, you see they're building up downtown. That's all Mark Limping's doing. So he runs that part of the organization. But he's also the right-hand man to Shad Khan. If he needs anything done, he can call Shad Khan and he gets all the approval and he can sign off on it. That's the kind of operation that it works. Bezos could do the same thing. I know he was at the game last night with the NFL owner. They were talking. To me, I think if you want to get rid of Daniel Snyder, the NFL league itself, if all 32 owners, if they agree, 31 owners, if 31 owners agree, because you ain't going to get the 32 owner because Daniel Snyder's not going to agree to force himself out. But if the NFL really wanted to get him really out, they could force him out if 31 of the 32 teams sign off on it. If they get the majority of the teams signing off on it, then the NFL can come in there and try to remove, and has the reason to remove. That's called in the bylaws itself. Even though they're owned by an owner, but NFL is like the NBA, is community driven. And like a thing too with the Phoenix Suns too. That situation with the Phoenix Suns, the majority owner is already calling for the owner's resignation. I don't know if he's going to do it, but he's suspended for a year by the NBA. But the same thing with the NFL. If they really want to get Daniel Snyder out of there, I don't see that's going to happen anytime soon because he's pretty much a lock. And they also, in a rumor right now, is to move the Washington Commanders out of Landover, Maryland, to a team to the north side of Virginia. It's probably going to be the next big move for them because right now Landover, Maryland doesn't want to build a new stadium, and the FedEx Field Stadium is terrible. If you sit in nosebleed section, you better bring binoculars because you can't see them. I was there. I went when I was still married with my first wife. Her dad got tickets to see Dan Marino and the Redskins play. We were sitting in the nosebleed section, and I was like, dude, I need some binoculars. I went and bought me. They had them sell at the stadium at the time, so I went and bought me some binoculars. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I can't see. I can't see these teeth. They're like little ants down there. You're sitting out because." But it is, the FedEx Field is not built into the ground.
Okay.
It's above ground.
Yeah.
It's not like the Dallas Cowboys. If you go to the Cowboys AT&T Stadium right now, to get to the top of the stadium, you walk 1 mile. There's a 1 mile walk up.
Wow.
We did a tour of the stadium at the AT&T when Jacksonville was there. We took a tour of the stadium, And we went all the way to the top. We took the elevator off. I ain't gonna walk no mile all the way up that thing. I'm like, forget that, man. Leave the elevator at.
I would love to see Jerry's World. That is
Jerry.
Also, Vegas has a beautiful stadium as well.
Yeah. Jerry's World was built down into the ground.
Mm.
And one thing about AT&T Stadium, I will give Jerry Jones a little bit of props about is if a hurricane comes and rocks that stadium ain't going nowhere.
Oh.
There's a 4-ton chain that goes underneath the ground and it hooks onto the Rangers baseball stadium.
Wow.
They have a chain that runs all the way around that hooks it to the baseball stadium itself.
Wow.
Underground.
Being prepared, right?
Yeah. And then if you look at it too, Jerry Jones said that he won't have no Pittsburgh steel. All the steel that's in that stadium was imported from Germany.
Oh, wow.
He said it took like 10, 15 days for the ships to come in. And then they had to truck it all the way across town.
Get it cleared through customs. And then, with me being in the trade show game, we have a lot of international exhibitors. So, I'm kind of becoming a expert in the custom game.
and then if you look at it too, if you live around the stadium, you can't buy beer around the stadium. Jerry Jones put
beer in the stadium.
Yeah, Jerry Jones has put a 2-mile radius around that stadium. You cannot sell beer within 2 miles of that stadium.
Hey, you damn right.
So,
all this money I don't put in the stadium, you better come spend some money with me.
Nate the Great said the Hurricanes won't come over there. It's too far away. Yeah, but tornadoes not.
That's why I love good old Chicago, Illinois. The only thing we got to worry about is some rain and some snow. I don't have to worry about no hurricane, no tornadoes, alley, none of that stuff.
Yeah, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. We sometimes get tornadoes. Sometimes we get hurricanes. We get the tropical storm. Yeah, it gets worse here around September, October timeframe. It starts getting worse here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, the scary part is I want to come down there to Florida when I retire, but after seeing all the stuff that be going on weather-wise, I don't know about all of it.
Well, I mean, Florida's good. I mean, if you want to come here and retire, you get taxed. You don't get the federal taxes on your retirement. That's best. That's about the best thing about it. And then the weather here, it does turn. I mean, sometimes you have afternoon showers, but it only lasts we more than have probably one day out of the month that it rains all day. But yeah, the afternoon showers are bad here and stuff like that. So I mean. But the sun, the hotness, football season, man. We sweating down here in September, October, November.
I call Chicago.
December. When the Redskins was the Redskins, they came down here to play in 2018. It was cold. It was like 45 degrees. But other than that, you're good. Even the college bowl game, you're wearing shorts and short sleeve shirt. In January. So, I mean.
Look, I call Chicago the next 15. You don't like how this weather feel it? Give it about 15 minutes.
Yeah. Rain, snow, tornadoes, earthquake. Yeah, Chicago is great.
Yeah, we don't get no tornadoes and earthquakes. I don't know what part of Chicago Damien lives in, but
yeah, but part of Chicago you got sometimes you gotta wear a bulletproof vest just to go outside.
Oh man, it's like I tell people, man, Chicago just as bad as everywhere. They just
I know.
It more here.
I know. I've been to Chicago a couple of times, so
look, I tell people all the time, I'm still here.
Yeah, I have a friend that's from Mullen. Oh yeah, it's outside of Chicago, right near Indiana border. I'll tell you a quick story about that. I was stationed in DC, so I got off of work and went straight to Chicago. It's 12 hours from DC to Chicago.
Okay.
I drove all night long, going through Ohio, and next thing I know, the only thing I remember was going through Ohio was I had a cop behind me who turned the lights on. Apparently, he said I was sleeping driving, but I didn't go over the line.
Oh.
And I was driving the speed limit.
But you were knocked out though.
Yeah, he said my eyes were shut. He took a picture and he showed me. He took a Polaroid picture of me and showed it to me. He stopped me and he didn't give me a ticket. He said, dude, I just want to make sure you're okay. But you didn't drive over the line. I can't pull you over. Really, I only pull you over because I thought you were sleeping, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I don't remember none of that stuff. I don't remember going through Ohio.
Like, dude, you probably called me a mere yawn or something. Like,
Dude, I don't remember going through Ohio. Only thing about Ohio I remember was that I went to the other side
of Ohio.
Yeah.
He said that's all I remember.
That's the only thing I remember going into Indiana out of Ohio.
That's it.
And then when I got to Indiana, I went to. The bad thing is I'm going through Gary, Indiana, where Michael Jackson was born.
Yeah.
And I didn't know at the time, but I was like maybe 3 houses. I stopped at a gas station. Maybe his house was like 4 houses down where I was at, and a cop pulled into the gas station. He says, "Dude, I'm sitting here for your safety." I'm like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, you're in an area that your color of skin will have you taken out in a heartbeat."
Wait, what?
Yeah, he said if you go to the part of Gary, Indiana I was in, was the color of my skin would have been a target if people would have seen me. I'm like, well, I'm getting out of here.
Really?
So I jetted out of.
Never heard of that in Gary.
Yeah, Gary, Indiana. The part I was in Gary, Indiana, where Michael Jackson was born.
Yeah.
And lived. It was unsafe after dark for people with my color of skin. That's what the cop told me. I was like, wow. But I said I never had any problems because I get along with anybody.
I got up out of there too.
I get along with anybody, so I said if anybody comes up, I'll be friendly with them. He said I don't care. They only take one thing. They say hi to you, and if they don't like you, they pull it out and they shoot you. So I was like, wow.
Okay.
But yeah, I had fun.
You scared of Gary, not Chicago.
Yeah, I had fun in Chicago. I mean, I was there. She took me around. We went to a place called Carson. We get all the ribs at Carson.
Carson's, yes, sir.
Yeah, the good ribs there. We went there, and her dad used to be a police officer, a chief of police there.
Okay.
In Chicago.
Okay.
So she took me around there. We went to the ballpark. She took me to see the statue of Jordan. Yeah. All the stuff that we wanted to see and stuff like that. And then I did make the trip. I did make the trip up to Wisconsin, to Madison, to see the University of Wisconsin. So I took that off my bucket list and stuff like that. So, a little short thing. Went to Chicago back in the early mid 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, that was a while ago because when you mentioned Carson's, I don't even think there's a Carson's around anymore, but I definitely remember that restaurant.
Yeah. I mean, that was the best place. She said when she was in Hawaii, they were all talking about, oh, you need to come to Chicago, go to Carson Rib with us. That place is so good. The ribs are so good, So I was like, okay. So I went there, and that's where we went. First thing, we went about 3 times while I was there. I was there for a week, so we went about 3 times. That place
I call Chicago the national food spot in the United States. I mean, you gotta. If you want
Chicago pizza was good too.
You gotta come to Chicago, man. Gotta come to Chicago. Sorry, New York. I was just in New York. I got love for y'all, but y'all cuisine ain't got nothing on ours in the shop, baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm definitely watching them games. Yeah, watching that game yesterday definitely got me excited about Sunday. I was able to talk with a couple of my friends, and we were talking about the rivalry with the Bears and the Packers, and we all excited about that. And I caught a little bit of the WNBA game last night. I saw the Suns were able to force a game for us. So hey. Some good sports, baby. Some good sports going on.
Right they still do have Carson. Carson is at 465 East Illinois Street, Chicago, Illinois 60611.
Dude, I haven't had Carson's in years. I didn't even think they were still around. I don't hear anybody talk about Carson. Well, I guess because there's so many spots out now. You got like Penny's Ribs. You got, it's so many ribs. I-57. You got so many spots now. It's just crazy.
Yeah, they open at 11:30 a.m.
Yeah, I didn't even know we still had a Cars. So
Yeah,
shout out to Cars.
Yeah, Carson Ribs at Prime. It's called Carson Ribs Prime Steak and Famous Barbecue Chicago.
Okay, so they probably turned that to a restaurant. So
Yeah, they turned it a big. So it looks pretty big now.
When you
It looks more up class, fancy style now.
Yeah, closest you getting to doing takeout for steak is an Applebee's or something. You know, the moment you mention steak, it's a restaurant.
Yeah, that's good. Let's see here. Damien said rain, tornadoes, Chicago. Dave came out and said tropical storm and very rare earthquake and volcanoes for out here in Washington State. Yeah.
Oh, volcanoes, yeah, in Washington State.
Well,
I didn't know you realize how far Washington State really is.
Yeah, Washington State is a border of Canada.
Yeah. Crazy.
And are you ready for this? If you ever want to drive to Alaska, you got to go through Washington State. You got to go through Canada, and then you go through Alaska.
Wow.
So when you travel to Alaska,
you can drive to Alaska though, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can go. You got to go through Washington State, go through Canada. On the other side of Canada is Alaska, and you got to have even though Alaska is a U.S. territory, you still got to have your passport to get through Canada.
Oh yeah, got it. Yeah. Yeah, but I was in Detroit for a trade show we did earlier in the summer, and I didn't realize how close Canada is to Detroit. Like I'm literally in my lift, and I look and see people with Canadian license plates, and I asked my Lyft driver, like, how close is Canada to Detroit really? She said, you see that Caesars? I said, yeah. She said, you're looking at Canada. I said, Get out of here. Yep. I'm like, I wish I had my passport, man.
Yeah, Nate said he'd never been to Chicago, but I have been to Illinois. I've been to.
You ain't experienced Illinois yet.
I flew into
Chicago.
I flew into Chicago O'Hare Airport. Coming out of North Carolina to get to Hawaii, we always had to fly in Chicago. And then from Chicago, we went straight out to Hawaii. Yeah. You have a direct flight out of Chicago going to Hawaii itself.
I'll be in Hawaii in October.
What part?
I think we're going to Waikiki. We're going for a wedding.
Oh, you're going to the big, not the big island, but the main island, which has got Honolulu, Waikiki, and Pearl Harbor is still attached to that same island you're going to.
Because my family is it's my wife's family, but my family, I guess. But she's in the Navy. So when you get off the plane, when you get out of the airport, if you look straight ahead, you'll see a pink hospital. Mm-hmm. That's the Army hospital. Okay.
It's pink.
I can't wait to get out there and see, man. I'm actually excited about seeing a volcano for the first time. I'm weird like that.
Well, volcano? You really don't see a volcano.
I really want to see a tornado. I don't want to see it up close, but I want to
see. That's the misconception. That's a misconception. Honolulu really doesn't have a volcano. The volcano's on the Big Island.
Okay.
If you get to Hawaii, one of the best kept secret about Hawaii is if you ever book a tour to go to Hawaii, do it from there. Call their ticket agency on the island because they get you cheaper tickets than they do on the mainland.
Got you.
Because my mom wanted to come out. She said that it was going to cost them $2,500 a piece when they tried to buy the tickets in the homeland. I said, well, I can get you a better deal. So I went to the ticket agent, said I needed a plane ticket coming out of North Carolina to here. How much can you get it for? And she got it down to $1,200. She only had to pay $1,200 a piece instead of paying $2,500 a piece.
Right.
So
better than 25.
That, and then when you get there, they have what you call island hops, which is cost back then it was about $47. And you can go to the different islands. You can get on a plane. It'll take you over to Maui. You can spend a day in Maui and get the same plane to come back the same night and takes you back to and then you do the same thing each night. Each day you go to the different islands. It costs you about $47. Called island hopping.
I appreciate that. Might have to check that out. I'm gonna see a volcano while I'm out there. Even if I got to travel to go see
Now,
it.
if you want to go, you remember the show though, Hawaii 5-0?
Yeah,
You know the big waves.
I do. Yeah.
They see those big waves. You have to go to the north side of the island. Not where Waikiki is. It's on the other side of the island. It's on the north side. That's where the big gigantic. That's where the big gigantic waves are. That's where the pipe is.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I am excited. You know, I'm you know, go out there. I'm thinking about getting my tribal tattoo. You know.
Yeah, it took 36 hours to get from Texas to Washington. It takes 36 hours to get to Washington to Alaska. Yep.
Oh God, 3 days, huh?
Yep. Yeah.
What's up, Dre? Appreciate you jumping on.
What's up, fella? Happy Friday. Oh, that's my boy, man. That's my co-host from the College Breakdown Show. Me and Dre, man, we have a good time on that show. Two Navy guys. Sometimes we reminisce about Navy on there, and we talk about we gelled pretty good. So if you catch us on Saturday at 9 a.m. to 12, we lead you all the way up to kickoff on the College Breakdown Show on the All Sports Place Network. So,
hey, Dre, thank you for your service as well, brother.
Yeah, we break it down. We break down all. Well, we got like 60 games, I think, this weekend. We had 80 games last weekend.
Yeah, I think all of them are like unranked games, though, right? Like ranked.
No, they got
against unranked teams.
Yeah, I think so. I think we got a couple ranked teams. I have to look at it. I'm still working on all that stuff. So.
Oh, I can imagine, man. College football is a lot, man. It's almost borderline hard to keep up with.
I got all the rankings done because we do our own ASAP rankings. So I got that done. I
hope you got Georgia's number one.
Yeah, I had Georgia number one in the beginning of the season.
Yes, Lord.
I don't do like ESPN. You win the championship last year, then you move them down to number 3 or number 4. Right. I don't do all that.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
So I mean, I don't do it like that. I mean, my ranking is a little bit mixed up than what they have, and you know the way they drop people out and sometimes and stuff like that. I just don't like the way they do rankings. So I did my own ranking for the college sports.
With ESPN is always political.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell Alabama should be number 1.
But they kiss Alabama's butt.
Of course.
Kick Nick Saban's butt.
It's all political. All political. Nick Saban gets what he wants.
Yeah, for some of the shows, it takes a while to get the graphics done. I start. So that show ends on Saturday while I'm watching the football. I'm doing everything, but I also got to keep track of me and Dre's pick. We have a pick going on every Saturday. We pick all the games, and we tally them up at the end of the game and put them in there, and so we break them all down. So, Dre right now is 6 games behind me. So Dre, if you're listening, man, you're 6 games behind me. Your picks didn't work out too good last week. Your picks that we had different from each other, I gained 6 spots on you. Just letting you know. But you'll see how bad it is and stuff like that. And then Nate went on and said number 12 BYU versus number 25 Oregon. Yeah, that's gonna be a good game. That's gonna be in Eugene. And then Dre comes back and laugh loud. Hey man, I'm gonna break it down to you real quick. Dre picks Texas A&M. I pick Appalachian State.
Right.
He laughed at me when I picked Appalachian State over Texas A&M. I got the last laugh.
Oh, yes, Lord.
And then he laughed at me when I picked Kentucky over Florida. I got my last laugh. So those 2 picks right there really hurt Dre.
Uh-oh.
Now, if we would have picked against my Carolina team, then that would have really killed him. But he picked Carolina, so that kind of helped him out. That kind of saved him a little bit, but we had like 12 or 13 games that we picked a piece. He got a little bit of them, and I got a little bit of them, but I still pulled up 6 games ahead of him. So,
all right, Dre, what you gonna do, man? You got this Saturday, baby. He's
oh my God, you're bragging. I see. Hey, Dre, I had to do it to you, man. Either I do it today or I do it on Saturday.
He said either you might get them both days anyway.
Yeah. I mean, we got about 60. Let me see if I can bring the spreadsheet up real quick. I got the spreadsheet up. Yep. We have a total of 69 games this week on Saturday.
That's a lot of football, man.
It goes from it starts at 11 a.m. because they have a first game at 11 a.m. Wofford against Virginia Tech at 11 a.m. on the ACC network, and then it goes all the way till the last game starts at 11:59, and that's Duquesne versus Hawaii.
He said it's on. He said it's on tomorrow.
Yes, it is. It's on. It's on. 69 games, so you need to bring your water. Your potty breaks in between. You know, get your popcorn. You know, this is a teaser, man. Me and Dre's gonna have a good time on this show, man.
I'll
and
definitely gonna come watch.
You know, if y'all around, you can join in. You know, more the merrier. But what's one game y'all see that can be an upset this weekend?
We talking college football?
One game this weekend, I'm gonna tell you. I can see an upset. And even though they lost to Appalachian State, number 24 Texas A&M beats number 13 Miami in Kyle Field. That's the one upset. That's the one upset. Number 13 gets number 24.
Let me go take a look at these college games. Let's see who we got.
And another good game too will be Texas Tech versus NC State, number 16 in the college. That game's at 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus. So you Wolfpack fans, you don't have ESPN Plus, you ain't gonna see your team. It's just point blank. They're not on ESPN 3.
So much money, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's on ESPN Plus.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a lot of destruction going on Saturday.
But the bounce back team from the loss, I think the Gators will pull up what they need to do against South Florida. So I think Richardson will have a better game. So
it's gonna be a lot of destruction.
Hey, Trey said coffee and weed, brother.
Hey, yes, sir. That's why I laughed. I said I like him.
I got the last laugh on yesterday's Chief versus Chargers game. Yeah, but I mean, that game could have been turned the other way around too. So I mean,
hey, I feel the same way because I said, I saw a lot of people said the Chargers was gonna win. I was a little nervous in the first half, but I had to stick with my guns, man. So the Chiefs were able to pull it out. I just thought the coaching is better, and I just think that the Chiefs they got the experience of knowing how to win when times get tough. They've been there, done that before. So that's why I had to go with the Chiefs. But I think if they see each other again in the playoffs and everybody is healthy,
they'll see them again in the regular season. They'll see them again in the regular season.
Yeah, I want to see everybody healthy. If everybody's healthy, I want to see because that's gonna be a fight. That's gonna be a fight. And don't sleep on my Raiders either, because I said that the Raiders are gonna win that division. So I'm still riding with that choice.
I'll tell you real quick here. They'll see each other on November 20th at 4:25.
Oh yeah.
Kansas City goes to LA.
I'll be there for it. I'll be there for it. Front row center, right there on my couch with a bottle of yak.
There you go. You heard it there. You heard it there. Mr. Rob Scott gonna be sitting there with his bottle of yak, and he's gonna be
bottle of yak. Yes, Lord.
He's gonna be. He's gonna be.
FanDuel.
Yeah, I hope you don't do like Kevin Hart does when he tried to get his $200 extended. That $200 credit, sitting there talking about he's sweating and all this stuff, and then it shows up like 30 seconds after he talks about it. Everyone on sports status and says the Chiefs blow out except me. Kansas City beats number 12, calling it now. I'm calling Texas A&M over Miami. Dre, that's a heads up. I'm picking Texas A&M. That's a heads up for you. So you might want to take Miami. So you can try to gain up on me. Try to gain that 6 spots, boy. That's a tidbit. So it's been good here. It's been good chatting with you and stuff like that. So, we're coming to the point of the show that we got to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
And peace out and everything else. And we hopefully enjoyed your entertainment here today. We got some good people chimed in. We got some good laughs and some good chuckles, some good stories. This show is all about being fun. No debates. We're talking about the latest sports. Give you the latest sports news in the morning. We cover the latest stories in Major League Baseball. We covered the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Chargers last night, 27-24, in the Amazon first ever Prime game by itself without any other network. I hope y'all like that Prime game. I hope y'all's videos didn't get stored. I had the superpower internet, and it still got stored because a lot of people got on the servers, and they were promoting that AWS server package, trying to get people to join their servers. But they need to add more servers because right now that video is kind of distorted out throughout the game. So.
I got a couple of those distorted videos too, but for the most part, it showed pretty good. So
yeah,
I understand what the NFL is trying to do, and I'm interested now to see the numbers of how many people actually turned on that Amazon Prime. So that'll make it all worth it once we see the numbers.
Yeah, and then you can join us this afternoon. Coming on at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, you'll see Rob back with Chris. I don't know if Greg's going to join him with the after action of that. I think he's going to cover something more, talk a little bit more about the Chargers versus the Chiefs on the afternoon blitz. Join them at 1 o'clock. At 3 o'clock is the easy money with Chris, talking about the betting on sports betting, what he takes in the bets. So if you are gambling, you can sit there and watch that show. At 6 o'clock tonight will be the Indianapolis Colts show. And then My Jags Nation will come on right after that at 7 o'clock. So you'll get the analyst of the Colts perspective at 6. You'll get the Jaguars perspective of the Colts game at 7. So we'll see how we conduct that. I'll try to see if I can get Chris maybe come on my show at 7. We'll have a little bit of sparring session with the Indianapolis Colts and the Jaguars coming up on 1 o'clock on Sunday here at the TIA Bank Field. I'll give you a little tidbit. Indianapolis has not won here since 2017, or some believe 2012 is the last time they won here. It's about 8 games. So 2014, 2017, we're looking at it. You're looking at it here in Jacksonville. Can they bring the 8 game? But on the other side of the tidbit, Matt Ryan has never lost to the Jaguars. He's 4-0, but all 4-0 was with the Atlanta Falcons. This is a different breed. If the Jaguars can pull that out and win this game, is Frank Reich going to be on the hot seat? That's going to be the question.
You're a brave man for mentioning that you love the Jaguars out loud.
Hey man, I wear my shirt every day on my shows.
Yes, Lord. I ain't mad at you, right?
So we got to turn that corner sometime. Hey man, I'm gonna tell you like it is. 2017, we should have been in the Super Bowl. Miles Jack was never down. They called him down. That cost us the game. Gave Brady the opportunity. And you know how it is. The mistakes, something. And when Brady was on New England gets all the breaks.
Give the GOAT another opportunity now.
Well, we didn't give him another opportunity. The referee gave him another opportunity.
Hey, however he get it, once he gets it, he will take advantage of it. That's why that's GOAT Brady.
Yeah. So you got that coming up at 7. You got Throwing Hands coming up later on tonight. Jay and his colleagues on Throwing Hands give you good aspects of the UFC. And if you want a little bit of boxing news, they've already got it on that too. And then you got the show with the judge where Chris comes back on at 11 o'clock. And then you got the After Dark with Tony. So there's a lot of stuff going on here to keep it on the ASAP network. This has been Ray. This has been Rob. We are out of here. Have a good day.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.